I like to discuss on antenna polarization. Okay, so basically there are three types of antenna polarization. The first one will be the most common one, which is known as linear polarization. So under this linear polarization, we have both the vertical and also horizontal polarization. So later on, I will help you to identify whether is this vertical or horizontal polarization. Under the circular, it is actually quite similar with the elliptical polarization. They have both the right hand and also the left hand polarization. Again, we are going to take a close look later on. Let's focus on the linear polarization. Okay, how can we actually identify whether it is vertical or horizontal polarization? Let's take a look on these two diagrams here. We only concentrate on the E field. Okay, so basically the red is actually the E field. From this diagram here, you can see that the electrical field is actually in a vertical plane. So therefore, we call this as a vertical polarization. In this diagram here, it is very clear that the E field is actually at the horizontal plane, and hence we actually call this horizontal polarization. Next, you can see that it is so-called actually tilted at a certain angle. So therefore, this type we call it a slant polarization. Next, how can we actually identify the right hand or left hand polarization? Okay, so this is actually the right hand clockwise circular polarization. Where we observe will be the source. Okay, from here you can see that this will be the source because it actually radiates out from the left all the way to the right. So when we actually take a look at this particular angle here, you can see that this is actually turning in the right. Remember, we take a look in this angle here, you can see that this thing actually turn in a clockwise. So therefore, this is what we know as a right hand clockwise circular polarization. It's also the same for left hand. If you take a look at this particular direction from the source, you can see that they actually turn in a anti-clockwise. So from here, you actually call this as a left hand anti-clockwise circular polarization. Okay, so it is the same for the elliptical polarization, which I leave it for you to understand on your own. Okay, so basically, let's come to the application. Okay, for example, the linear polarization is the most common polarization. So the key application will be mainly for broadcast, for Wi-Fi, and also for cellular. As for circular polarization, the key advantage is it is definitely less sensitive to antenna orientation. Okay, so you don't worry about whether is it horizontal or vertical. So they are less sensitive and hence they are able to reduce the multipath interference also. So the key application for circular polarization will be on the satellite and also GPS. Elliptical polarization, okay, so basically they are actually used in scenario where the polarization need to be adapt to specific environment condition such as radar. With this, if you'd like to know more information, please see the video under the description. Thank you so much.